Hey guys, this is
Those Jamongos.
Hey guys, this is 3 Jamongos here.
2 Jamongos.
Cause our other person went away.
She's in Bolivia.
Alright, so we're gonna do another react video, and today we are gonna react to Mr. Nightmare, right? That's his name? The person's name? 3 creepy true horror stories that happened on Christmas. True stories.
Even though Christmas was...
Are you gonna keep bringing that joke up? Like every time? I haven't watched this video since last year! You ready?
Hey! She Snapchatted me!
Oh, it's because it's coming from my headphones. That's why. Wait, why isn't the sound happening? Hold the phone! Time out. Sorry, I connect my headphones to my laptop all the time. Stop, you're doing it wrong.
Go.
I'm gonna
First story is from Arthur Maxwell.
Oh,
on you. What did you just do?
I broke it. Okay, it's okay. Okay, so 3 true horror stories. Whatever.
Anonymous. You know that's gonna be scary. Maybe.
Also, those are what? The author's names, right?
The people that submitted the videos.
I thought they were titles. I mean, anonymous. What does that mean?
My ex-girlfriend's family during the holidays was the worst weekend of my life. They lived in a different state than my ex Kaylee and I. We were on Long Island in New York. They were all the way up in Vermont. Our relationship was still kind of new, but she seemed to think it was serious enough for her parents to invite the 2 of us up there for Christmas. Kaylee had a really small family, so apparently it would be just the 2 of us, her brother, and her parents. Pulling up to the house was a pleasant surprise. The house was beautiful, and it stood on a huge, well-kept property secluded from any other houses. As Kaylee...
Big one house secluded with other houses?
Mm-hmm.
That, you know what that reminds me of?
What?
Get Out.
Oh my gosh, the movie.
I'm kidding. No, it's kind of
weird. I got out of my truck. Our parents came out to the porch to greet us. First impressions, they seemed friendly and weird. An unexplainable type of friendly.
What'd I say?
The father didn't smile, but he shook my hand, patted me on the back, and said it was great to meet me. The mother hugged me, showing a lot more emotion, but something about her face was a bit off-putting. She had a really wide smile that seemed a bit exaggerated.
Even the cat's crying.
The house was as beautiful inside as it was outside. It had a wooden lodge type atmosphere to it. A little while later, I met Katie's brother Paul when he got home from work. He was a really socially awkward dude. He had a bowl cut and had a whole tattoo sleeve running up his arm. We had dinner, which was awkward at certain moments, but other than that, it was kind of normal. After dinner, we watched a Christmas movie in the living room. I tried not to make eye contact, but I could tell Paul kept looking at me for extended periods of time.
This guy's name is Paul.
Occasions.
Yes, Paul. No, Paul! She froze it. Oh, wait. No, she muted it.
Kaylee was me only more uncomfortable.
I'd be super uncomfortable if someone stared at me, too.
At the end of the night, Kaylee and I were in the guest room.
I would be uncomfortable because if I was just getting into a relationship and I was going to meet their family in a secluded place, I would at least try to bring my friend.
Yeah, I know.
One of my friends.
Or your sibling.
Yeah.
Yeah, be like, let's go together. Then we both die.
She left her phone on the nightstand. I saw she got a text from her mom, and for some reason, feeling a bit snoopy, I got up to read it. It was not at all what I was expecting, and it changed the whole night completely. Briefly on the screen, it said, "Text from mom. Do you think he suspects anything yet?" But the message quickly switched to new message. I'm guessing because she had iMessage notifications set to hide once the phone locks. I wanted to read what was said before that, but her phone had a password, unfortunately. I could actually feel my heart pumping now. Kaylee came back into the room. I kind of gave her the cold shoulder because my mind was racing. She seemed to notice. She was texting on her phone for a bit before turning out the lamp and going to sleep. I couldn't sleep though. I was rolling around for hours wondering what that text meant, and if it was about me.
Watch out,
What the hell
boys.
was up with my brother?
You about to die.
It was exactly 2 in the morning when I heard Kaylee get out of bed, but she was doing so very quietly. Normally I'd find this to be a kind gesture, but under the circumstances, I was finding this suspicious now. I didn't move. I pretended to still be asleep. I heard her come to my side of the bed and stand there for a few moments, then leaving the room and walking downstairs. Then I heard someone else walking downstairs, and then another person. Something was going on. I went over to the top of the stairs to listen to what was going on downstairs.
I'm thinking they were making a
There was a bunch
coffin.
of talking, but very low voices. I walked down a few stairs quietly. The talking was coming from the dining room by the stairs. It sounded like they were planning something. I heard Kaylee say something like, "When I go back up, you stand by the door." Then I heard her brother say something. But what was going on was really starting to hit me in the face. Or at least what I think was going on. I went back to the room to grab my stuff and leave. As I was grabbing the keys, I noticed something in the corner of the room. I turned the lamp on, which exposed Kaylee's dad sitting in a chair in the corner of the room, with an expression on his face behind his glasses, staring at me. I screamed at least 4 times, "You're all crazy," as I ran to my car. I put the car in drive, practically before the car was even fully on, and floored it out of that long driveway back to the road. I didn't stop once except for gas. And at that gas stop, I checked my phone and saw Kaylee texted me saying, "What the fuck happened?" I didn't respond. Not until later that night when I got home. I said, "I don't know what you and your sick family were planning on doing to me. I don't want to know. Don't ever contact me or come near me again, and I won't report this." I said this only because I knew there was no proof at all of what happened, or what might have been about to happen. She never replied.
What if it
Dude,
was a
and
surprise?
then-
Like you're ready
Damn,
for the
there
cake.
goes that surprise, Jordy. Really?
Dang it, Dad!
Why'd you do this? The last time you sit in someone's house in their chair.
That reminds me of
Christmas
Get Out.
Eve night, when
What if someone got inspired of that and just redid
That's what
that?
I literally said. I knew it. I had a feeling because it started with like, oh yeah, we went to visit the family in a big house in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, Get Out. Yeah.
They probably got the idea maybe.
All right, this is the anonymous one with no title.
in the morning, I was in our den watching TV because I always like to stay up extra late on Christmas Eve.
Me.
We
To
always
make things more
everyone
festive.
does that. Oh, the Hispanics do that.
Yeah, we don't.
Go to sleep.
Yeah, we don't go to sleep and wake up the next morning with presents.
No, we do that on the clock at midnight.
We know Santa Claus is not real. I'm sorry. Trigger. I mean, if you believe in Santa Claus, don't watch from this minute to the next minute.
That doesn't make sense.
Yes, so we don't go to sleep. We stay up all night with family or whatever, and then once it's midnight, we're like opening the presents, and then, you know,
While we're eating.
yeah, we're always eating hot chocolate. Panettone. That's we eat the chocolate chip.
I was always feeling. It was during a snowstorm. I left the window open and the backyard light on just so I could also have the view of the snow in the backyard.
Okay, first off, who leaves their window open when it's snowing?
Yeah, and at nighttime. Like, that's creepy.
If you have snow in your room.
But he let the door open.
He said the window open, yeah.
Oh.
This idiot. See, it's already gonna start.
I was focused on the TV at the moment, but through my peripheral vision, I thought I could briefly see something in the backyard. I turned to the window, but besides the falling snow, there was nothing going on out there. Still, I got up and went to the window just to be sure. Nothing. I sat back down on the couch, but now I was constantly checking the window to see if anything was outside. About 10 minutes later, I calmed down and forgot about it and reverted my full attention back to the movie. Then I heard, loud and clear, the backyard gate slam shut.
God damn it, Santa Claus.
Now I almost knew someone was back there.
He ain't slick.
I slipped on my shoes and a jacket and went out to the backyard to check it out.
I would never do that.
Lock your
There were
doors?
foot marks in the snow leading from one gate across the yard to the other gate. I was not feeling brave enough to follow them, so I went back inside. As I was taking off my boots and jacket, I saw a track of wet, muddy snow on the den carpet, leading from the office to the hallway that led to the living room.
Santa Claus?
That was also the way to my parents' room.
That's so up.
First, I had to go to the office to see how they broke in. So I followed the boot marks to the office without turning on any lights to make my presence known. I was expecting to see one of the windows busted open, but everything was intact. Then I realized the boot marks didn't start in this room. They ended in this room.
Oh, he did. He gonna die. So long.
I slowly lifted my head up to the garage door in the corner of the room. It was open, and right under the doorway, there was someone in a winter coat, jeans, and boots, squatting down as if trying to hide, back-facing me, but his head turned to look at me.
My heart would
I
stop.
stood there with my
I'll be
mouth open in
froze.
horror for a few seconds before I ran for it to my parents' room, screaming the whole way there. I got my dad to come out as quickly as possible, and on our way to the garage together, we heard the actual garage door opening. By the time we got there, the intruder was gone. Realistically, we could have followed his boot marks, but who knows how far he'd gotten by that point. We found out he broke in through an unlocked living room window. Just goes to show if somebody has intentions of breaking into your house, they'll find a way, which is why you should always lock all your doors and windows.
But this is like common sense. Why wouldn't you lock your windows or doors? This makes me happy I live in an apartment. Because we're like second story. No one can come in here. Crazy.
I'm the oldest of four. During the events of this story, I was 16, my younger sister was 11, and my two younger brothers were 8 and 7. My parents and their group of friends were part of a club that was basically for rich, snobby people. The club always hosted a Christmas party one night in December each year at a big fancy firehouse. Of course, for all the younger kids, like my siblings, somebody would always dress up as Santa Claus and hand out the presents that were left in a sack by a chair, which had a red blanket over it. This year, my dad's best friend Michael was dressing up as Santa. He was sitting at the same table as us, so when the time came for him to leave and get changed into the Santa suit, I saw him get up and walk out the door. There were like 20 young kids there, they never noticed. Everyone was having a good time, chatting and whatnot, kids playing on the floor in the center of the room, when the door to the firehouse opened and bells were heard jingling. All the kids jumped up yelling Santa, and in came Michael in a surprisingly unimpressive Santa costume. It honestly looked like the cheapest thing he could find at Party City. A serious downgrade from last year. The hat and beard were alright, but the costume just seemed cheap. Not the usual costume the club supplied. He chuckled and did his best Santa impression. I had to say, he was doing a really good job of changing his voice, though.
It's not my...
I saw a few of my parents' friends whispering to each other. Michael grabbed the bag of gifts and said in his best Santa voice he'd be right back with the presents.
He stole the present. Oh crap.
He walked out the door with the bag of gifts. That's when my dad and a couple other guys ran after him yelling, "Hey!" I still didn't know what was going on. Not until my mom told me that wasn't Michael. I wanted to feel important, I guess, so I ran outside to the parking lot as well, where I found my dad and two other guys standing there, looking around dumbfounded. The man dressed as Santa was gone. The real thing they were concerned about was where Michael was. Michael's car was also missing. I asked them if they were sure that wasn't Michael. They were all positive, though. We tried calling Michael, but his phone was off. We tried his house phone after a while, too, which went to voicemail. We had to send a search party, but we couldn't find him anywhere, though. Eventually, my dad and I returned to the firehouse to pick up my mom and siblings. Just about everyone went home by then. I waited outside. I heard a scream for help in the distance. It came from the woods, deep in the woods. I ran to the tree line to scream back Michael's name. He yelled back help again. It was him. I was too excited to go back for my dad, so I ran into the woods, following his screams for help, and I found him, tied to a tree in a bloody mess.
Who's tied up?
Blood was dripping from his forehead down to his face. He looked like he'd been beaten by a blunt object. I cut the little rope with my key, and he struggled to his feet. I walked him back to the parking lot, and he screamed when he saw his car was gone.
First
Michael
world
left the
problems.
building planning to get changed into the Santa costume. He was jumped by 3 guys wearing masks.
Oh, 3.
One of whom struck him in the forehead with something metal repeatedly until he was knocked out. Next thing he knew, he woke up tied to a tree in the woods. It's sick to think that 3 or 4 men could have set up a plan like this, involving harming somebody just to steal a bunch of gifts from children, some of them pretty expensive. And to add insult to injury, they stole Michael's $50,000 car. I felt terrible for him, and I still do. It's not the kind of story that he can just bring up for fun. It's still a painful story to tell, even for me.
Damn.
The last one wasn't really scary.
No, that was not scary. That's like an actual thing that can actually happen. That's not scary to you? It could happen.
It could happen.
It's the most realistic one.
Yeah, it could happen, but I mean, it's not scary.
No. Are these all supposed to be? They're just supposed to be creepy. It says on the title, 3 creepy true horror stories. Are they really true though? We don't know.
But they did better though. I mean, like the people would do better. If you're in that situation than me, I'll be frozen with you. Not me.
Like if you were caught, they hit you in the head. What are you
No,
doing? Oh,
like
you being the little
like
kid.
if the person was hiding like behind something and I saw them and they were looking at me, I would not understand.
Okay, I think I would be frozen in fear, but then I'd be frozen. I wouldn't even know. I probably wouldn't move, but I'd be just shook and I would be like,
Also, don't go away with your girlfriend or boyfriend when you just went out with them.
yeah, I
They
know.
won't kill you.
Well, I mean, if it was like in the city, then maybe. Oh, we're gonna
My
die. you
God.
guys. We're talking too much of scary stuff. Okay, so we're gonna wrap this up really quick before we die by a ghost. I don't know, but yeah, don't go to other people's houses if you just met them in the middle of nowhere.
Lock your doors.
And-
Never dress up as Santa Claus. That's what you learned today.
That's the main story. All right, guys, peace out. That's it from us. 3, 2, 1, goes out.
Out.